Hello, magical people. My name is Lou, and I would like to welcome you to my channel and to this video, which is about the full moon that was yesterday. So, of course, it could have been a bit more timely, and due to my failure, I suppose, to be more timely, the format today is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to do all of the regular things where I talk a little bit about what this full moon is and some major aspects that it may be showing to us energetically. And I am going to do a pick a card with where there will be 3 readings. However, in the interest of time, since I'm already running so far behind schedule, I'm going to try and do this with very minimal editing. So I haven't picked any tokens. We are going to just use solely our intuition. So we are going to take a moment now, and before we even dive into the moon explanation, we're going to just take a moment to take a deep breath, center ourselves, and at this time decide which reading is for you. So it can be 1 reading or 2 readings or all 3, of course, but just go with your gut here. So what I like to do is I like to take a deep breath, think of the choices in front of me, and one of them will feel subtly and slightly different in the body, and that's usually the one, well, nowadays that's always the one that I go with. So if you need more time than that, please feel free to pause the video. Let's see, what else do I want to say before I dive right in? Like, comment, subscribe, all of the usual things that people say when they are trying to build their channel, which I am trying to do. Let's see, what else? If you would like a reading, the information on how to obtain one will be in the description box below. And yeah, I think that's really it. So we are just going to go ahead and start off talking about the full moon in general. So full moons occur when the sun and the moon are astrologically opposed to each other, so 180 degrees away from each other. They're on opposite sides of the circle, so to speak. And so in this case, we have our sun is in Libra, and our moon, our full moon that just occurred yesterday, which was the last super full moon of the year and is otherwise also known as the harvest moon, that is in the sign of Aries. So what does this mean? We have the sun energy of Libra. Libra is about balance, and in fact the I statement that goes along with the zodiac sign of Libra is I balance. So it's very much the energy of the collective, because of course you need more than one energy if you're looking at balance at all. You can't balance one energy. So indicative to everything about the energy of Aries points to there being more than one party at play, more than one energy at play. So it's a energy that speaks more to the external collective in a way. We also have, again, the moon in Aries, and the I statement for Aries is I am. So this is very self-assertive energy. They are both cardinal energies, so there is an impetus for movement and for taking action or starting something. But they are obviously different elements. So Aries is the element of fire. And again, with that I am statement, it's very self-assertive and it's very self-assured and it's very much driving forward energy. And then we have with Libra, that is the cardinal sign of in the element of air. So that is a more heady energy, a little bit more cool energy, removed energy, a bit more objective, but also still wanting to drive things forward, but from a more removed place. So we have these 2 energies showing up during this super full moon time with the harvest moon here at the end of September. And like I said, this is the last super full moon of the year, and next month into the we start eclipse season in mid-October. So there's a lot symbolically and energetically about this full moon that's coming up. It's pretty big energy. And what this might mean, oh, actually, there was one other aspect. And again, disclaimer, I am not an astrologer. So I don't have a complete and full understanding of all of the different factors and aspects that are playing into this. But what I did find in doing my research is that every article I read, every video I watched, everything that I came across also pointed to the impact of Chiron on this particular full moon. And Chiron, I think it was a pick a card reading focused around the energy of Chiron sometime back, and perhaps I will link that in the description box below. I'm not even sure how to do that, but if I can figure it out and it doesn't take too long, I'll do that. Or maybe I'll put a card somewhere. I don't know how to do that either. So, in the interest of time, I may not end up doing either of those things. But there is somewhere on my channel, there is a pick a card reading that talks a little bit more about Chiron. So I won't go into a huge amount of detail here, but suffice to say that Chiron is also known as the wounded healer. So, okay. Let's recap. We've got the sun in Libra. The sun, the conscious energy, the outside energy of the collective and bringing things into balance and being a bit objective, a bit withdrawn, and also a bit more, even though it's cardinal energy, it's still air energy, so it's very heady energy. So while it does want to move, it is also willing to wait for the right move to take. Then we have the moon, which is of course our subconscious, our emotional self. This is more of an internal energy of I am showing up. And again, still cardinal, but fire, wanting to drive forward, wanting to be impulsive. And now we have this third aspect that we're bringing here with Chiron, the wounded healer. So what might this mean? This might mean that you see some themes coming up in your life right now being illuminated by the light of this super full moon, at this harvest moon as well. So perhaps these are things that have been around for a while, but it's time for you to finally perceive them in their fullness. And these will be themes around the self versus the collective. What you want versus what you feel externally is being handed to you as what you should want, or how to balance what you want while also maintaining the energy of keeping your external life in balance so that you can sort of kind of have your cake and eat it too. So there's a lot coming up here. And again, with that energy of Chiron, this might be pushing on some painful stuff in a way. You may notice that, this could come up in some seriously different ways depending on what the actual particulars of your life are. But you may notice, if you're into attachment theory at all, that some of your triggers for your defense mechanisms with regards to attachment theory, or even Enneagram, if you prefer using that mapping method, you might be noticing that some of the things that are soft spots for you, particularly with regards to the self versus the collective, might kind of be coming up at this time. And it's not because the universe wants to hurt you. Although sometimes I understand we all feel that that's the way that it is, but it's not true. These things are being illuminated so that you can see them better. Because what the real energy behind all of this is a really big potential to see some really big truths and take some actual change that serve you, the I am, much better in the long run. So this is an opportunity, as all full moons, to really illuminate what's going on so that we can get a clearer idea of how these energies are impacting us and what we can do with that information, because everything is just information, right? So I'd be curious to hear, please leave a comment below. I'd be curious to hear how this energy is hitting you. One of the other ways that you may notice this coming up is that, again, with that I am energy, that creative inspiration, fire energy of Aries, you may be noticing that you're feeling particularly creative. And that's actually what I've been experiencing this week. I swear, y'all, with the equinox, I definitely felt a shift in the energy. I feel like nothing has materially changed, but my perception around it has changed a little bit. And it's like all of the things, all of the problems that I had are all still there, but I somehow feel as though I am more excited to deal with those challenges. Excited is not really the right word, because excited sort of implies a bigness that I don't feel. It's like there's a spark of excitement. And for any of you who've known me for a while, you know that these last few years have been particularly challenging for me. So this, in a way, kind of feels like coming back to myself in a way. So with the energy of the equinox, I've been overall feeling pretty good. And again, please let me know your experiences below. These are big energies that are going to hit us all differently. And I'd be curious to hear how it's been impacting with your own personal space lately. But yeah, so, and then with this energy of this full moon, I really have been noticing a lot of creativity come up. That's something I could go on to and kind of go on forever about, but you're all not here to listen to me talk about myself in this video anyhow. Maybe sometimes some of you show up for hearing me talk about myself, but right now we are doing this video to talk a lot about you and about your situation and about what might be coming up during this full moon energy for you. So now that we've discussed all of the major themes, we're just going to jump right into reading one. And again, actually not again, for the first time, because I don't think I've actually said it yet, but thank you so much for being here, magical person. Your presence means a lot to me, and I am grateful for this opportunity to share with you words that come out of my mouth. Gratitude as always for you, and in particular, an extra dose of gratitude today for this sort of, I guess, bearing with me during this sort of slapdash of video that I'm kind of throwing together at the last minute, because I was too stuck in my own I am energy to actually stay on task with what I wanted to provide for the collective. So that's how it's showing up for me a little bit this week, but it's okay. I have permission and grace for myself. And you know, better late than never. So here we are. So, all right, we are going to jump right into reading one, y'all. And I've got 2 tarot decks and an animal oracle deck. And so we're going to keep this one just pretty loose format. So we're just going to be looking at what energies that might be beneficial for you to, particularly if you are noticing a lot of that self and not self energy kind of being illuminated for you, and that perhaps it's showing you some of your less than ideal patterns, and kind of pushing on that Chiron energy. So particularly if that is the case for you right now, then what we're going to be looking at is sort of, now that this energy is being illuminated, like what are just some messages that want to come through for you at this time that will be helpful for you in managing this energy. All right, so group 1, we are going to start. We're just going to take a couple of tarot cards from each deck, and then a tarot or an oracle card as well. So for group 1, a couple of cards, please. Okay, well, it's more than a couple, but we'll take it. So we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Moon, the Tower, the Knight of Pentacles, the 2 of Pentacles, and the 2 of Wands. Ooh, hello, group 1. So first of all, we've got both an Ace and we've got the Tower. So we've got both things kind of out of your control, sort of falling apart, and maybe things haven't been fully illuminated yet. So there is still an air of mystery of how specifically things are going to be playing out, but new opportunities are also being provided, and new opportunities to look forward and sort of like intentionally plan how you want to move forward based on this new information. So like, I feel like right now you might be feeling a little bit like, undecided. What do I do with this energy? How do I juggle this sort of quagmire of emotions? And the Knight of Pentacles might be one of those inner voices showing up to just be like, okay, persevere. Just this is where you are. Just keep one foot in front of the other. We will manage to navigate around the rubble of the tower and by the light of the moon. So we have to move slowly as we move towards our Ace of Pentacles energy. So maybe you've had something showing up lately for you that well, actually, you know what? Let's see a little bit more about what this tower is about. So, what specifically is this energy of like falling apart, and for the purpose of something new showing up that's going to give you an opportunity to reassess, make some decisions. It's going to feel a little chaotic for a while, but it's looking like it's going to be pretty stable in the long run. So, let's get a little bit more about that. All right. So we have the Child of Visions and the Ace of Challenges. Ooh, interesting. So this has to do with a new idea and something that, like Child of Visions, that's also known as the Page of Cups. So this is something that's like newly delightful to you and is kind of like shifting up your way of thinking about things. And it's causing some sort of conflict between you and the collective. So, all right, let's get some more cards here about what would be the best move forward. Like, now that we know there is going to be moving forward, we know that there is this moon energy where like things are partially illuminated. Like, you know, usually by the light of the full moon, it is bright enough where you can sort of navigate your way around. You know, like if imagine you're in a field where there is literally rubble, like a building has come down. By the light of the full moon, there's usually enough there where you can't see all of the details, but you can see your way well enough to navigate around the larger things that may be perilous to you. So that's very much this energy coming up. Like, not everything is yet illuminated. Like the tower has come down, but the sun has not yet risen. But I feel like with that Ace of Cups or Ace of Pentacles energy, that's really coming your way. So, all right, these next few cards are going to be advice. So what do we got for advice? We have the Weaver of Boons, which is the Queen of Pentacles, and the Six of Spells. Leaning into that place of delight, the delight that is coming to you from this Child of Visions, the thing that actually is feeling good in your heart, like that, it's okay for you to like what you like and love what you love and value what you value. And sometimes if we notice our sense of self or our internal values or just the way we want to be in the world shifts, it can definitely cause some changing up of how we manage that self versus the collective. Like when the self changes and the collective doesn't, it can be a challenge. But the advice here is to stay with that Six of Wands energy. The Six of Wands is that sense of victory of having fought through a challenging situation. So I kind of feel like whatever this Child of Visions energy is to you, whatever this new thing that is bringing you delight and kind of lighting you up in a way, I feel like that is a journey that has taken you a long time to get to. You know, like if you think about the way the tarot is stacked, we've got the numbered cards, the aces through the tens, and then we have the court cards. So even though the Child of Visions is young energy, there is also implicit to that energy a repeat and a leveling up. So I feel like you've already done a lot of work to kind of hone in on what feeds you and what makes you feel good and what really lights your fire. And so let this be a healing experience for you. Like I said, this energy of Chiron, the wounded healer, like he is the wounded healer. So, you know, wounds hurt, but he is also a healer. So, you know, you're being invited to let yourself heal in this energy and let yourself be who you actually authentically are, even though the way may feel not as illuminated as you may like at this point, and there may be some uncertainty coming, and there may be some chaos. Again, it's that Knight of Pentacles energy, that energy of being steadfast. All right, so let's pull for you, group one here, an animal oracle card to send you on your way. Just one more final thought. Oh, we have Dove Spirit. Be peace. I love it. Just allowing yourself to be where you are and not self-abandoning. Like, I'm not even so much necessarily seeing this specifically in the cards as a specific message, but when you put it all together, I'm wondering if for you, group one, there has been a feeling of self-abandoning at other times in the past, and that maybe that's why this energy of the self versus the other, or the self versus the outside of self, is feeling so weighted, is that at other times in your life where similar situations have come up, you have self-abandoned in a way. So be peace. Be yourself. Allow yourself to be who you are and stand in your own power and be steadfast. Don't forget to be kind and gentle with yourself, group one, and I will see you soon. Happy full moon. May you harvest all the goodness there is available in life. All right, so we are going to, like I said, I'm not even going to edit this out. So we are going to do a shuffle of the cards and then jump right into group two. Hopefully autumn has been treating me well, I've got to say so far. I'm really kind of digging it. We've gotten some rain, so I think my time for having to water the garden is over for the year, which is lovely. I'm noticing even some, because it's still pretty warm, some new shoots coming up around the yard here and there. I think I saw some borage coming up and a couple other things, but I'm not recalling what now. The zinnias are still blooming, the marigolds are still blooming. The dahlia is still blooming and is gorgeous. I'm actually remembering now that I had meant to actually cut a couple to put in the video here in a vase for you all. Vase? I don't think I've ever said that before in my life. But anyways, I forgot until just now, so that didn't happen. Is it the Lord? A little bit of water, a little bit of coffee. I came so close to dumping that down the front of my face. All right, group two, magical group two, thank you so much for being here. We are going to get started on your reading, and what we're going to do is, now that we've talked, itchy noise, now that we've talked a little bit about the general energy, we're going to see what messages want to come through for you regarding that energy. And again, the energy of the outside and the outside desires of the world and the collective versus the inside sort of primal, intuitive, emotional energy of the self that's coming out, as they're both being impacted by Chiron, the wounded healer. So like I said, we are just going to pull some cards for group two here about messages for this full moon. First, we have the King of Swords. Ooh, the airy part of air, being very logical and being very removed and not super emotional about a situation. We also have, oh, interesting, we have the Nine of Cups and the Three of Pentacles. So first thing that I'm seeing here is that there's this energy coming up of logic and emotions, and how that applies to the way that you actually spend your time and what you're actually doing in the world and the people that you're congregating with, what you're putting into the world. So let's, okay, two more, there we go. All right, we also have the Seven of Swords, which is a little bit of like imposter energy, a little bit of, or can be imposter energy, and it can also be that energy of reclaiming what's yours, what's been taken from you, and you know, or having somebody take something from you in a way. So there is sometimes an energy of unfairness to the Seven of Swords, and we also have the Seven of Cups, which is it's choices and not really knowing a clear way forward. So what I'm seeing here for you, group two, so far is that there's this energy of doing. There's this energy of doing and being with people and taking classes, being the student or being an apprentice, putting your stuff out there for the first time. Like, but there's other people that are showing up in this energy. And like on the one hand, we've got this Nine of Cups energy, which is very much full heart, and having already attained this energy, this degree of fullness, just emotional fullness. But then also there's this energy of the King of Swords showing up, which is very not emotional energy. So I feel like for you, there's a lot of, I feel like there's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of back and forth coming up for you here. So I wonder for you, group 2, if this is really showing up as like your internal voices. You might be getting a better idea about the way you sort of argue with yourself about what feels good versus what is the logical or right thing. And also there's this sense of like, yeah, I feel like with these 2 7s, I'm going to pull some more cards here, but I feel like with these 2 7s, there's this feeling of not being sure what to do with the choices that you have, not feeling entitled to the choices that you have before you. It's very curious. It's very curious. So let's just pull some more cards and see if we can hone in on this a little bit for you. Group 2. Ooh, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Interesting, which in this deck is called the Enchanter's Wheel. So this is the energy of chance. The energy of this is such a great card for it because there is a spiraling here. So there is both a newness but not a newness, because obviously the inside of the spiral is, they all circle the same points but from different perspectives. So I feel like this is being illuminated for you at this time to give you some more understanding of yourself, and the way you perceive the accomplishments that you've gotten for yourself, the way you, I feel like maybe you get down on yourself a lot because there is this sort of internal conflict within you, and that it kind of causes you to be in this sort of like self-negating way. And I feel like this energy is being illuminated for you this time. So you can like take a chance on actually giving yourself the benefit of the doubt and recognizing that what choices you have in life that you've worked so hard for in so many ways, you absolutely deserve to have those choices available to you. And letting yourself sort of believe yourself. All right, let's see here. More cards for group 2. Ooh, we also have the Council of Animals, which is known as the Judgment Call, like Judgment card. Like you are being called on by, maybe for some of you, this is people outside of you who are consistently showing up for you and telling you that even though you get down on yourself and you're mean to yourself, that there's actually nothing wrong with you, that like you're great. So I wonder if rather than the external collective for you, group 2, we're talking about a little bit of clarity coming up between your internal core sense of self and your council of self. Your internal, like we all have, well, maybe not all of us, but many of us have experiences where there's an internal voice that shows up and judges us in this way, or congratulates us when we do that, or mocks us when we do this. So that's kind of, I think of those as like different parts of myself, and so the collective of the self, basically. And I kind of feel like this is sort of showing up, this Judgment card, for you, group 2. And again, take what resonates, leave the rest. But I feel like for some of you, rather than this being a truly internal experience, this full moon, this is all pointing solely to your internal experience and sort of getting your internal sense of self more in alignment. Like there have been parts of yourself that you have been ignoring or negating in some way, and rather than that making those parts go away, of course that just kind of makes those parts sort of stronger in a way, because we're talking about like shadow aspects of ourselves. So let's pull another couple of tarot cards here and see if we can get some advice for you. And oh, okay, that was 4 cards. Sorry. So for advice cards, we have the Devil, the 7 of Spells, the oldest one, which is known as the Hierophant, and the Ace of Boons, which is known as the Ace of Pentacles. So for advice, there is a call to be honest with yourself and to recognize that you're magnificent. Like, nobody expects perfection, and you are unique, and you are magnificent as you are. Even though you stand out from the crowd, that's part of what makes you so fucking beautiful. That's part of what makes you sparkle so much. So stop negating those parts of yourself that are unique or that do sort of stand out a little bit, and recognize how much you've already done, how much you've already accumulated in your life. Like 9 of Cups and King of Swords, like those are levels of attainment. And with the 3 of Pentacles, again, that's putting things out into the world. The 3s are all about community in a way. So like all of these choices, all of these opportunities that you've built for yourself, it's not a mistake. It's not just because you got lucky. Like, I mean, sure, sometimes luck does come into things to a certain degree, but we have to seize those moments of opportunity. And so what choices and opportunities and options you've been able to amass for yourself are there because you deserve them. So instead, stop. I sort of feel like there is a part of you that feels very like mean, and like it is a part that is lying to you. Like all of the terrible things it's telling you about yourself are just pain. Like this part just needs to be loved. Like this part isn't actually evil. That's the lie. Like it treats you so bad that you feel like it's bad, but it's just a part of you and you're not bad. So it's not bad in and of itself. It's just a part that needs to be loved. And that is a deep, deep wisdom. There's an invitation here to ground yourself most fully in the ancient wisdom that we have available to us. And trees are a great symbolism for this. So it's funny, I've been noticing, hadn't planned on talking about this at all, but I've been noticing lately that when I've been doing my grounding, I've been doing a little bit differently. Like a lot of times I would sort of envision, a single sort of like column, I guess, coming out from like my root chakra down into the center of the earth. And then I would also sort of ground my feet separately. That basically just 3 beams of energy going down into the center of the earth. But like that's like I do want to, if any of this is real, I do want to draw on that energy of the ancient wisdom that trees have. And so if the intention is to mimic the way a tree is grounded in the earth, then the reality is it is not a singular thing. It is like, just Google image trees turned up, like trees that have been ripped up during a storm or something like that, where you can actually see the exposure of the root system. Like trees, like they don't just have a singular taproot like a carrot. They have just, I don't know how many. I'm tempted to say millions. Maybe that's accurate. Maybe it's hyperbolic. I don't know, and I'm probably not going to count. But there are just a multitude of different small lines of energy. Some of them go more laterally than down. And so I feel like maybe when you are doing your grounding energies and or grounding exercises, and you are working on grounding yourself in yourself as a collective whole, as a being of wisdom and light, I feel like it would be good to remember that this part of you that you have a lot of judgment about, it's just, hurt things. So it's true of people. I mean, that's the expression, obviously, is hurt people. But that goes for actual people out in the world, as well as in our internal senses of self. So if you have a part that is being particularly vicious with you, then although it feels like when our defensive mechanisms are activated, although it feels like we may want to hide or attack or engage with this part in a multitude of ways, what this part is really actually screaming for is to be seen and to be heard. and to be loved. Chances are this part has been around for a very, very long time and is quite young. And so sometimes just things need to be seen, and what better time to see things than during the full moon. And finally, with this last tarot card that came up, we have the Ace of Boons, which is the Ace of Pentacles. And that is a new material opportunity showing up. So I think, one, work on grounding yourself, and also in the knowledge that whatever parts about yourself that you dislike or judge, that they are not the whole of you, and that even if you can't quite get to love and compassion for that part just yet, at least recognize that it is not the whole of you, and allow that to keep kind of like pushing you forward towards this Pentacles energy, towards this Ace of Pentacles energy of newness, and being there to seize an opportunity when it comes. So I think there's a lot of deep opportunity here for you, Group 2, during this full moon. And again, well, as we pull an oracle card, an animal oracle card here, I just do have one phrase that kind of is coming to mind, and maybe I've said it during a reading before, maybe I haven't, but for some reason it's coming through right now, is just take a chance on yourself. Take a chance on yourself because you deserve it. You are absolutely worthy of it. And if you don't take a chance on you, then you certainly can't expect anybody else to. So it all comes from really being in a place of self-love, self-acceptance, and having one's own back. And for the animal spirit, we have the elephant. Learn from the past. Yes. Like I said, full moons are a fantastic time to illuminate things so that we can more clearly see our patterns, so that we can heal from them and move forward and accept that all of the work that we've done for ourselves up to this point, all of the opportunities, all of the options, all of the choices that we have available to us are because of the hard work that we've done, and we deserve it. Don't forget to be kind and gentle with yourself, Magical Group 2. Thank you so much for being here, and may you have the happiest of harvest moons and just delight in all of the good things that this harvest moon has to offer you. You need to go out, Mochi? Okay, before I shuffle the cards and start Group 3, I'm going to just let Mooch and Cat out, because I heard her pushing on the door over there. She's pretty subtle, but she does like to let me know her needs. You need to go out, chicken baby? Yes. Oh, you're so patient. You're so patient. All right. Whew, such a high vibe energy. I feel like I've probably been talking really fast. Apologies if I have been. All right, Magical Group 3, let's go ahead and just dive right into your reading. So we are going to be looking at, now that we've talked a little bit about this energy of the sun with the collective balancing of energies, and also with the energy of this moon, this energy in Aries of the I am fiery energy, as well as we've got that energy of Chiron with the wounded healer coming in. Now that we've talked about the general energies being illuminated during this time, let's take a little bit more of a specific look at what's going to be coming up for you, and we'll pull a couple of cards for advice as well as an animal oracle card. So for Group 3, woo, oh my goodness. First of all, we have the Knight of Pentacles. Oh, that showed up in Group 1 as well as the Eight of Wands, and several that fell on the floor. So we'll be right back. Okay, So we have also the King of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles. Ooh, lots of Pentacles energy. And we also have the Five of Wands and the Judgment card. Oh, all right. So we've got both. Okay, so it's interesting because, like, just to start off here with the first two cards that came out, we have the Eight of Wands, which this is the energy of Mercury. This is the energy of communication, and communication moving quite quickly and without a whole lot of obstruction. So this is pretty free moving and quickly moving energy. But then we also have the Knight of Pentacles, which is all about being steadfast and about being intentional. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. There's a cat that wants to come in. Mr. Man, stop scratching on the door like that. That's awful. Sorry, group 3. I'll be right back. I gotta do my duty with the squirrel mom. Thank you. Thank you. Whew, okay, so where were we? So we have this energy of like thoughts and communication moving quite quickly, but then in the world of Pentacles, which is the actual doing of things, we also have things moving quite intentionally and perhaps quite slowly. We also have, again, this Two of Pentacles energy of like feeling like there's some chaos and like trying to keep your balance amidst that. And then, but again, we also have the King of Pentacles, the Judgment card, and the Five of Wands. So I feel like there is some conflict coming up for you here. And I feel like this conflict is maybe pointing at something that is quite important to you. Something about that you've taken quite some time to gaining some mastery over, and something that is quite close to your heart. Maybe is something that even feels as like a calling of some sort. And there's something showing up in the energy here that's kind of saying that like you need to re-examine, like, let's pull another card here. So I feel like there's a piece of the puzzle missing. Was there a card of the puzzle that I missed picking up? Okay. So yeah, I feel like there's a piece missing. All right, so we've got the Emperor and the Six of Cups. Oh, interesting. All right, so the Six of Cups is looking back, and of course the Emperor is divine masculine energy, the energy of boundaries, the energy of being a good steward. It's in some ways sort of similar to the King of Pentacles energy. I mean, the Emperor is, like I said, the divine masculine of the deck, but there is, kings also have that like attainment. Of course, kings and emperors, we think about the way hierarchy works in the real world, and kings and emperors are both of the upper echelon. So I feel like there has been a huge leveling up here and maybe coming to terms with something from your past, like something. There's an opportunity here, like there's something that's kind of like, this is interesting. So I feel like, and again, whatever, take what resonates, leave the rest. But I feel like for you, group 3, there's an energy of like moving into this new place, having really like good inspiration, like all of the energies of moving, you're taking the steps that you're correct, you feel like you're on your path, and yet there is this sense of internal conflict coming up that's feeling very chaotic and almost threatening to knock you off of your Knight of Pentacles throne in a way. Like this, but I don't feel like it's so much, I feel like with this Emperor and with the Six of Cups, it's like something that's coming back from your past to disrupt things. That is like something about your past is coming up. Oh, Mr. Man, I think is about to maybe make an appearance, because he does like to be in the middle of things. Hi, buddy. Something from your past is coming up and like being illuminated for the purpose of giving you an opportunity to set some different boundaries around that aspect of the past, but doing so like the Emperor can be cruel sometimes and can be a bit vicious and cutthroat, but that's more like the Emperor in its more like shadow aspect. In his illuminated aspect, he is a very kind and gentle and wise leader who is very good at understanding what is his and taking care of what is his. So I feel like there's a real opportunity here for you, group 3. Now let's pull some more cards here and see what we see. So let's pull one or two more to sort of flesh out the rest of this. And then we'll also pull some advice cards. First, that one, and that one. Okay, so we've got the 8 of challenges and the 8 of visions. Ooh, double 8s. Interesting. Oh, group 3. I feel like there's something from your past that is bringing you a lot of sadness and a lot of grief, and you're maybe feeling like you're having a hard time moving away from it. And like there is all of this like great and positive stuff happening, but like there's this like internal conflict that's like, yeah, like still kind of holding you back. But you know, I think there's some grief that's coming up for you. There's some grief that's coming up for you. Why is that grief coming up for you? Like if you are in a place of movement and you're moving towards your purpose. And let's talk a little bit more about what this grief is that's coming up for group 3. This grief that's kind of like causing this place of like almost self-inflicting wounds, and not recognizing that like you have the power to save yourself from those wounds. Yeah. Okay, again, take what resonates, leave the rest. But I feel like this thing from your past has to do with love. Whether it was unrequited love or love that was returned but didn't work out for some reason or another. It like the Ace of Cups is all about the potential for love. But, you know, I feel like with this 8 of Cups and this 8 of Wands, 8 of Swords energy, you know, like there's like a lot of this grief is coming up because of a love that was so huge in potential, but that just didn't work. And somehow that's getting in the way of you doing all of this beautiful moving forward. Whether it's you blame yourself or you're accepting responsibility and maybe even accepting too much responsibility for the way things played out. You know, it's hard to say, but it's causing an internal sense of conflict. So there really is an opportunity to move beyond what yeah, like, okay, so look at this Ace of Cups. Like, the reality and the image don't quite match up to be the same. You know, you can see that there's a crown and there's a necklace there. So I feel like, yeah, this was an Ace of Cups that didn't quite work out for some reason, and there's still a lot of lingering grief about it that is sort of getting in the way of this beautiful moving forward that you're doing. I'm so curious. I'm so curious, Group 3, as to how this is showing up for you. If you want to share your story, of course, everybody's always welcome to. But all right, let's pull a couple advice cards here and see like what would be some good energies for Group 3 to focus on to stand in their power of that free-flowing energy of moving towards their purpose with intention and solidly. And sort of resetting some boundaries around this sense of loss and grief. Ooh. We have the White Heart, which is the Fool card. So the Fool card is showing up as the first energy. Take a leap of faith. We also have the Keeper of Challenges, which this is the King of Swords. I feel like the King of Swords showed up in another reading. I don't remember which one. Already forgotten. And we also have the Five of Boons. Oh, interesting. I feel like Group 3, there's definitely some self-limiting beliefs here. And you are being asked to challenge those and to take a leap of faith and to recognize that you do have a lot of wisdom. So even though there might be this internal sense of conflict that's showing up, you're being asked to take a step back and actually objectively look at the situation and recognize all of the moving forward that you're already doing, and that it's time to just fully step into that place and be that Fool and allow this new aspect of yourself to be reborn. And finally, we have 4 oracle cards. Oh, you got 2 of them. So we have 1, White Raven Spirit. This is one of my favorites in this deck. Trust in the magic. So again, all the free flowing energy that is coming up, that is moving towards your purpose, is the magic that is to be trusted. So continue to do so. And then we also have, oh, of course, I see why 2 came out now. I see why 2 came out now. Just to let you know that Wasp Spirit is always there. Sometimes life stings. Fortunately, we are beings that are capable of great regeneration. So much like the stinging of a wasp will heal with time, and in the future, like with something as minor of a wasp sting, we probably won't even really remember it a whole lot. Or when we do, it's not through the actual continuing to feel that pain, but rather a remembrance of that pain. And that is also true of life. Even the stings that hurt the most and for the longest, we do move through them. We do shift with time. We do heal. We are really capable of quite wonderful healing if we give ourselves the opportunity. And I hope group 3 that is exactly what you allow yourself, is to fully step towards this sense of judgment and trust in the magic, and know that life stings and that sucks. But take care of yourself, take some medicine, and make sure you tend to those wounds. Don't ignore them, otherwise they will fester and come back to haunt you later. But fully letting go of that hurt and moving forward into that Fool space. So, Magical Group 3, thank you so much for being here. I deeply appreciate it and appreciate you. Please don't forget to be kind and gentle with yourself, and I hope that this harvest moon offers you all of the plenty of life. Take care.